My name is Ram Piryakarpan, and I'm the Vice President and General Manager of the Network Test and Security Solutions business at Keysight Technologies. You know, some of you might have not heard the name Keysight Technologies, but you know, Keysight has a long and storied history dating back to the original HP, founded by Bill and Dave, the original electronics test and measurement company, and that eventually, you know, spun off into Agilent and spun off into Keysight. And Keysight acquired Ixia. That was a network testing company back in 2017, and now we're fully part of Keysight. So why are we here today? So we're going to really talk about the following. You know, we're in the midst of a massive network transformation that's happening all around us, and you know, if you ask yourself, there's a lot going on. Everyone today expects to be connected to the network at all times. You know, you're expecting to be able to access all your media content, all your applications, services, any other corporate asset you have, you know, and you're expecting to do this anywhere from physically on the planet that you are, or from any device that you might be on, or from any network. Okay, so really, I'm here. I'm very excited to be here to share with you how Keysight is going to help the industry navigate through this journey. If you think for a moment, right, in this ubiquitous environment, how does one guarantee security, right? How do you ensure that a bad actor does not gain access to your IP, intellectual property, and kind of takes it away, right? Or how do you ensure that if you're in IT, how do you run, operate, and secure this network that you don't fully control end to end, right? This is really why we're here. I mean, we're going to be sharing with you something today that'll really help the industry transform and run through this journey. So I want to start off by first showing you this visual picture. What you see on the left is a traditional legacy network where you have a physical security perimeter defined, right? And within that physical security perimeter, you have users, you have servers, you have various data warehouses and all kinds of endpoints. Now, the premise on the left is if you're within that physical perimeter, then you're considered secure. Okay, and so generally you're not validating or authenticating things that are within the security perimeter. And if you happen to be outside the security perimeter, the industry invented something as a VPN tunnel. So you have a secure VPN tunnel access into your security perimeter, and then you get access to any of the entities within that physical perimeter. Now, that's the way it's been for a while, but now things have been evolved into a much, much more distributed network. And now you want to be able to access your Office 365 applications. You want to be able to access Salesforce. You want to be able to access a whole host of services that might be hosted in the public cloud infrastructure. It might no longer be on-prem. And you really want to transform to the point where your secure access is based on an application or service basis. It's no longer based on a physical perimeter, because there is no such thing anymore as a physical perimeter, right? And in this environment, how do you do that, right? So this is what I think a lot of you have heard, ZeroTrust. It's a pretty big buzzword in the security industry these days. But what's happened is that you no longer focus on controlling the physical access to a perimeter, but you focus on identity, right? So you secure your identity, and identity to access specific applications, specific services, specific assets that you control. Doesn't matter, but every access can be controlled through an identity authentication, and you want to be able to continuously validate this on a service by service basis. So we're not going to magically flip a switch and move to this model of zero trust overnight, okay? You're still going to have your on-premise infrastructure. You're still going to have the VPNs that are going to be around. You're still going to have hybrid cloud infrastructures. And obviously then these are going to evolve into, over time, a zero trust network architecture. Now, the key thing here is that, while this transformation is happening, enterprises out there will need to support all these 4 different types of accesses. You're still going to need to be able to access a secure perimeter, and you're still going to have your traditional firewalls that are going to, look at, limiting access to specific entities. You're still going to be able to, access these networks through VPNs and so forth. So the key thing here is that you want to be able to do all 4 of these things simultaneously while this progression and transformation is happening. How does this impact the network equipment manufacturers, right? So we've all kind of been around, long enough in this industry to know that traditionally network equipment manufacturers made big iron boxes, whether these happen to be firewalls, IPS, IDS devices, or any other kind of secure gateways. These big iron systems were, physically deployed in, your around your security perimeter. They were used to, provide perimeter-based security. They were used to, validate, that traffic at that single ingress point. And, that's kind of the architecture that's been all along, right? Now, NEMs have to morph to a new environment where their services, their security services, their applications need to run in a cloud environment. They need to run on infrastructure that they don't own, right? And they're moving more to software as opposed to, traditional big iron based system. So where we come in is, traditionally we've been, making test tools that are also hardware based, usually, used to test devices in a pre-deployment lab environment. We have an industry, standard security test tool called Breaking Point that many of you might have heard of. So that's been the traditional way that we've done things so far. And the way it's going to move forward is that you're no longer going to be able to use, a hardware system that's physically having to be present somewhere because everything is, virtually deployed to the cloud, and it's, you don't physically know where it is. So you also need a test tool that could, test in the way these services are being offered, they're being deployed, and they're going to be accessed. And the important thing is, as I showed you that progression in the previous slide, you need to be able to, handle things that still, pass through a traditional firewall. You need to be able to handle things that, are maybe over a VPN access tunnel. You still need to be able to handle things that, work across a hybrid environment, both on-prem as well as in the cloud, whether that might be a private, cloud or a public cloud. And, all of these could be including a ZeroTrust, policy in place, right? Now, that's what we're going to be sharing with you today. How do we, present a new tool that can handle all of these, varying dynamic, situations that are evolving?